was a very entertaining game to watch. Very high scoring indeed. Also frustrating too, but you know, before we talk about what happened with the Lions game today, we gotta talk about all the other Detroit teams first this week. So for this week for the Tigers, they actually were really good this week. They swept the Royals and they won their series against the Twins, winning 5 of their last 6. Of course, the Detroit team. A Detroit team going on a winning streak late in the season, when their season is already over and they're eliminated and fighting for draft position. Maybe the Tigers are trying to make a case to not get screwed over in the draft lottery, because the lottery turns tanking into a total crapshoot, and MLB's probably going to use that lottery to punish teams for tanking. We'll have to see. But yeah, also not only that, I feel like the only reason Tigers are going on this winning streak now is because AJ Hinch is trying to do everything he can to save his job for next year. Whether he's successful or not, that's yet to be seen, because AJ Hinch's status for next year is up in the air with the new GM and everything in place. So whether what happens with AJ Hinch or not, or whether his job is safe or not, time will tell. We'll probably know sometime either later this week or next week. But for the Tigers, their season is almost over. Only 4 games left for this disappointment, as they got one last series starting tomorrow against the Seattle Mariners. And don't worry, I'm going to congratulate the Mariners on an accomplishment they achieved earlier this week, later on in the video when we get to it. Also, Red Wings preseason has officially started this week, and I really like Lions preseason and Tigers spring trading. I really don't give 2 shits about wins or losses in preseason, because wins and losses don't mean anything. Because all preseason games are just glorified scrimmages / test and tune-up sessions for the regular season. But so far, the Red Wings have looked pretty solid so far, as Derek Lalonde has done a really good job getting this team in shape. Hell, Moritz Seider is already laying out people in the preseason, especially players on Shitoylet. Man, Moritz Seider laying out players in Shitoylet. Things you love to see. Man, I just love seeing that site, Shitoylet, getting laid out flat on their ass. Now, if Moritz Seider can do that to Shitoylet and some other teams in the regular season, that would be really fucking cool. I mean, he did it last year to a player in Philly. I mean, if he does it to Shitoylet, I might actually come for it. What wasn't nice to see, though, was this Lions defense today. Like, holy shit, this defense is fucking terrible. Like, the offense was the only reason this team had a chance to even come close to winning this game today and made this a game. Like, let's be clear, Goff was not the reason the Lions lost this game. And neither were the refs for that botched time clock management that reversed the 4th down back into a 3rd down. Yes, that was kind of stupid. Yes, that was stupid. Like, honestly, why the fuck did that play even end up happening if there was a clock issue? Why wasn't it called dead immediately? They instead let the play go on, and then they're like, oh yeah, we had a clock issue, so we're just gonna reverse that. It's like, then why did you not blow the fucking play dead, you retards? It's like, once again, NFL's just making up rules on the fly. You're just making up on the fly. But no, I'm not blaming the refs for this game either, because blaming the refs is a petty, childish excuse that's getting really old really fast. Like, Lions fans gotta learn to stop blaming the refs. Like, the refs weren't the reason the Lions gave up 48 points. The Lions themselves are the reason. Like, blaming the refs is just petty and fucking childish. It's just taking the easy way out. But yeah, 100% this game 100% falls on the defense. Because normally, any other normal game with an actually competent defense, 45 points should be enough to win a goddamn game. But just because this defense happens to be so trash, the Lions end up finding a way to score 45 points and still lose, as the defense gave up 48 points. I mean, yeah, Jared Goff had that pick six to open the second half, but Goff and the offense still did their job to give the Lions a chance to win the game. The defense could not stop Geno Smith or anyone on the Seahawks offense. Like, hell, this defense made fucking Geno Smith look good. Geno fucking Smith. That fucker hasn't been relevant in, like, what, 5 years or some shit? It's been a long, like, when was the last time he was, like, relevant? 2014 or 2015 or some shit when he was still with the Jets? The Lions defense made him look good? Good God. This defense is really bad. Like, you're not going to win many games when you're giving up almost 35 points a game. Good God, this is worse than the goddamn 2008 defense. Hell, this is worse than any defense Matt Patricia ever had during his head coaching tenure with the Lions. At least that defense actually did things. This defense is significantly worse. Now, you could blame the talent level and the lack of blue chip talent at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, it's still Aaron Glenn's job to get the absolute most out of that defense and get the most out of the hand he's been dealt. He isn't. Because he's not adjusting to the defense to the offense. Because Aaron Glenn is just playing it based off down and distance and not adjusting to what the offense is doing. And not just making that defense easy to read. Like, it seems like the offense just knows what Aaron Glenn is doing. And it just makes it easy for Seattle just pick that defense apart. Hell, Seattle didn't even have to punt today. That's how bad this defense was. Like, Lions couldn't even make one single stop on this against the Seahawks offense. They just kept marching right down the field and kept scoring. Like, little to no pressure. Not even really a turnover for the most part. But yeah, the Lions offense showed that they are truly legit. Like, let me just tell you how legit this Lions offense is. No Amon-Ra St. Brown. No DJ Shark. No J-Mo. No Jonah Jackson. No Big V. No DeAndre Swift. And this Lions offense still put up over 40 points with everybody got out. Like, the Lions offense is still all banged up. And they still put up over 40 points. That's damn impressive. Like, hats off to the offense. They did their fucking job today. The defense was the reason why we lost. Because this defense nearly put up 50 goddamn points. To a Seahawks offense that shot the shit. And they somehow made Seattle's offense look good. But hey, congrats to the Seahawks fans. Well-deserved win. But to be honest, though, the Lions more than likely would have won this game if we had guys like Amon-Ra playing or DeAndre Swift. Like, this team is just so banged up. Easily a winnable game, and the Lions just let it slip out of their fingertips. The Lions just made too many mistakes on defense. Couldn't stop Geno Smith and Seahawks offense when it mattered. And it bit them in the ass. Plus, the Lions kicker, their new kicker, missing 2 extra points. That also played a blow to it, too. It was a high-scoring game because this game was actually about the highest-scoring game in the NFL this season, with both teams combining for 93 points. And I actually took the under for this game because the over-under was 50.5 points because I thought this was going to be a low-scoring game. In the end, this ended up being an all-out shootout. And in the end, the Seahawks just were able to take advantage of how bad the Lions' defense is. I mean, you can't blame it on Brad Holmes because after last year, the Lions had to make one or two choices: either fix the offense or fix the defense. And they couldn't do both. They had to pick one to fix. And if you look at this year, it's obvious they fixed the offense. The defense is now a work in progress. The Lions will probably fix the defense in the offseason. So, 100% one of the biggest weaknesses is linebacker. Maybe get another pass rusher. But yeah, linebacker 100%. Maybe he's got a corner too, because Okuda's been playing well throughout this year, except today when he was getting bullied all game. I mean, losing Tracy Walker to an Achilles tear, that's a big blow to the defense. Like, it just showed how much this defense misses Tracy Walker. Like, this was just a bad look. Like, something needs to change on that defense. Like, Dan Campbell already saying that they plan on changing nearly everything that's on the table to change that defense heading to next week's game against the Patriots. But yeah, 100% something needs to be adjusted on that defense. What that needs to be, I'm not sure. I'd say at least put Aaron Glenn on notice, because this type of play from the defense has been unacceptable. But hey, this is what we expected this year. It's year 2 of a rebuild. Like, this team is going to have a lot of growing pains. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Like, this game was the equivalent of a roller coaster ride. A lot of ups and a lot of downs. Like, it's just going to be a struggle this year. So the Lions fall to 1-3. Easily the Lions could have been 4-0 if this defense couldn't stop making so many goddamn mistakes and actually could stop something. Because this defense is the reason why the Lions are only 1-3 right now. Because all 3 losses were easily winnable games. Like, Lions mainly lost to the Eagles because they couldn't stop Jalen Hurts. They lost to the Vikings because the defense blew 2 double-digit leads. And in this game against the Seahawks, they just couldn't stop Geno Smith and that Seahawks offense. Like, they made that Seahawks offense go 5 years back in time, back to their Super Bowl run with Russell Wilson. Just a very frustrating game. Like, easily the offense was the only positives of this game, and that TJ Hawkinson really stepping up and having a career game, like, that helps too. Like, yeah, especially when everyone was calling about Hawkinson's head because of a start to the year, and Hawkinson just flat out told everybody to shut the fuck up and balled out. Like, yeah, some people just need to shut the fuck up about Hawkinson. I've always been rocking with 88 since day one, and will continue to. Now, Hawkinson's going to have to do it more consistently, especially if the injuries continue. Thank God the bye week is coming up, because the Lions need the bye week with how banged up everybody is. I mean, for the defensive issues, you could say the injuries on there too, because of Tracy Walker now being gone for the year. Awarrier's been banged up. We're missing Romeo Okwara. We've seen Levi Onwuzurike. Hell, Josh Pascal hasn't even played yet this year. Like, so far, the only playmakers on this defense, that only blue-chip talent on this defense so far that has stayed healthy and balled out have been guys like Hutchinson, guys like Malcolm Rodriguez, and hell, even Jeff Okuda. But those 3 can't do it alone. Just a frustrating game. Like, Lions could easily, we know what the Lions offense is playoff caliber. But the Lions defense is holding this team back from its true potential. Because this offense is great. But then this team can be good. But if they don't fix some of that defense, they need to fix some of the defense. Because right now, that Lions defense, it's holding the team back from being a good team to being a great team. Hell, I don't know if you can even consider the Lions a good team after this defense shit the bed today. But yeah, just a frustrating game. Lions fall to 1-3. We got a matchup against New England next week. I know what, and of course next week for New England, it's the revenge game against Matt Patricia, since it's Matt Patricia's first game against his old team. All I say to Patricia is be glad this game isn't in Detroit next Sunday. Because if it was in Detroit Sunday, oh God, the crowd would be relentless on Matt Patricia. Oh God. But if this defense makes Matt Patricia look like a genius next week when the Lions play the Patriots, then the season's pretty much over after, if they make fucking Patricia look good. But yeah, I'm not expecting, and for everyone thinking that we're gonna blow the Patriots out next week just because it's Matt Patricia in a revenge game with this defense, What the fuck are you all talking about? Fuck no, we ain't blowing the Patriots out next week. Now with this fucking defense, and now with Bill Belichick still calling the major shots. But yeah, anyway, anyone wondering what we do next week? Very simple. On to New England next week. But yeah, that wraps it up here. Congrats to the Seahawks on the win. And while I'm also at it with congratulating Seattle fans, I also want to give a congratulations to the Mariners, too, on finally making the playoffs after ending their 20-year drought. Very well deserved on the Mariners. I'm finally glad they finally made the playoffs. Was getting sick and tired of those bastards choking all the time and constantly punching their fans in the dick. About fucking time that the Mariners didn't punch their fans in the dick. Now, whether the Mariners punch the Seattle fans in the dick or not in the playoffs, that's yet to be seen. But hey, Mariner fans and Seattle fans, enjoy that. At least something good other than the Seahawks happened in Seattle for once. At least the Mariners are finally living up to expectations. But yeah, congrats to the Seattle fans, not only the Hawks winning, but for the Mariners making the playoffs too. But anyway, that'll wrap it up here. And that's all I gotta say, just offense did enough to get the job done. Just this defense just couldn't stop anything when it mattered. That's just gonna be the theme of this season. The only way Lions are gonna win games this year is if this offense plays damn near perfect. And the defense does the bare minimum. Either that or the offense needs to keep the defense off the field for as long as humanly possible. I mean, what the fuck else do you change on this team? But yeah, anyway, I'm out. See you later. Peace.